Hi, Oliver. Do you hear me?
Hi, Michal. Yes, I hear you. I see you. Hopefully, everyone who is joining can see us and hear us. It's already 2 p.m., so the right time to start. So I hope we can already begin. Okay, so hello, my name is Oliver Conchir, and I'm working as a sales manager responsible for multiple export regions in company Halla. And today, with my colleague Michael, I will lead you through this webinar.
Hello, my name is Michal Pár. I am working as a sales manager as well at the company Halla. And with my colleague Oliver, I will present webinar. Today's webinar will be very specific. For the first time, we are presenting from two different countries because my colleague Oliver is from Slovakia. He is now in Slovakia. And I am now in our headquarters in Czech Republic in capital Prague. But we don't expect any technical troubles. In case you have any troubles, please write into the chat and we try to fix it. So before we start, one more information. If you like the presentation and would like to share it with someone, or you have to left the webinar and would like to watch it again, just fill in the questionnaire after left the webinar, or it will be available on our website, or we will send on request. And now I'm switching to Slovakia.
Thank you, Michal, for introduction, and thank all of you for joining our school lighting webinar. This topic was chosen by you on our last webinar, so I hope you will like it and it will meet your expectations. We would like to present this webinar again in 30 minutes. During the entire duration, feel free to write your questions to chat window, where our colleague, lighting technician Tomáš Guliš, will be ready to answer your questions.
So, and what will be content of today's webinar? Main topic are why to use high quality luminaire in the schools and kindergartens. Then we will talk about rules and recommendations, what product and solutions company Halla can offer. We show off our partners' realizations, and in the end, of course, will be space for your questions.
Okay, so in this slide, we will show benefits and advantages of quality lighting. Oh, sorry, my mistake. The first slide will be how should the light be? So there are many answers to this simple question. Lighting should mainly make students more comfortable and improve the quality of learning process. Whether with the possibility of adjustment, low glare, smart lighting as added value, total quality of lighting, or energy savings. And this is the slide I mentioned before. So sight is the first sense for a human being to perceive his surroundings, so he begins to learn. For this reason, proper lighting in the student's learning process is very important. The advantages and benefits of lighting, of quality lighting, are various and interconnected. The right color temperature or intensity of light helps us to perceive objects and receive information, and it also helps to create a positive atmosphere, the ability to concentrate, which allows students to reach better performance. What is also important is the variability and possibility to control light, as for example dimming or tunable white. We will talk about these options later on.
So my colleague Oliver talked about the benefits of quality of lighting. But why really focus on lighting in schools and kindergartens? We think mainly for healthy reasons. According to our experience, lighting in many schools is bad and old. Pupils spend a long time under the wrong light intensity, often under the wrong color temperature of light source. These have a major impact not only on the quality of children's educations and discomfort, but they can also negatively affect their health. For this reason, it's not good to underestimate the correct lighting and the correct brightness distribution. As the absolute minimum, what we can do for proper lighting schools and kindergartens is to keep parameters given by the standards.
So let's talk about these standards now. The design of an artificial lighting in schools is based on a standard that requires 3 basic parameters. The first parameter is lighting on the working place in the classroom. The second one is uniformity. And the third one is glare index, as we know as UGR. The standard also includes specific requirement for the value of the light intensity of the blackboard, which is 500 lux with a uniformity of 0.7. This requirement can be achieved with the specially designed luminaires, which we will introduce you in a short time. A specific case is the lighting of old buildings, which are used as schools. These buildings often do not meet the requirements for daylighting, so we must not forget to increase the value of the standard for lighting of the workspace. I already see one question in a chat window, and I think it's quite interesting. So this question was already answered by our colleague Tomáš, so I will read it because I think it may interest you all. The question is, does the standard include illumination of the interactive boards? The answer is no. Interactive board should not be illuminated. If it would be illuminated, we would lower contrast of brightness and the board would be hard to read for students. In case of interactive boards, we do illuminate the space in front of it. The best option is to use the either tiltable or rotatable luminaires to be possible to readjust position of these luminaires and change the lighting later.
So I would like also thank you for your question. It's very nice. You are active. With this slide, we will stay for a while with the boring standards. So in addition to the classrooms, there are other spaces in the school. For administration, we have to keep the same rules as in office. It means average 500 lux in work level with uniformity 0.6 and UGR parameter below 19. Corridors are another often represented spaces in schools. We have to keep 100 lux on the floor with uniformity 0.4. Photometric data called LDT data are available for all our products. On the basis of LDT data, the lighting engineers can make lighting calculations and check with the valid standards. It's also possible to select from our product portfolio suitable product for individual spaces with suitable optical materials. But the norm is only minimum what we can do for right illuminating of schools. Besides the norm, we have another parameters and recommendations for illuminating of schools?
Well-being. So what the word well-being means? Well-being, unlike a norm, is something that is not directly defined by a value and cannot be measured, so cannot be required in a norm or standard. It is a state in which an individual, in this case is a student, can, thanks to a supportive environment, naturally activate his physical, mental, and social aspects, which allows him to experience fulfilled, satisfied, and productive time spent at the school or kindergarten. Well-being is an ideal combination of following aspects which we see as symbols on a slide, and those are lighting, acoustics, fresh air or ventilation, temperature, indoor, humidity, and activity.
Well-being doesn't have one particular definition. It's the state of being comfortable, healthy, happy, etc. We divide well-being on subjective and objective. Objective well-being we can measure objectively, for example, with health indicators. We speak about space from the perspective of ideal heat, fresh air, acoustic, and of course, lighting. Subjective well-being is state of mind. It's more individual, but with good luminaire and design of the interior, we can make space which should positively involve students and their happiness. Schools should support well-being and with design of space lower their stress and negative mind. As you can see on the picture, what feelings you have from this nice and light space.
The modification which was mentioned by Michal, these modifications of air environment does not mean for students only fulfillment of his ideal physiological needs, which are included in standards, which are namely, as we mentioned, heat, fresh air, and lighting, but also design and other aspects of light, which the standard no longer includes. As we already mentioned, light can support activity, motivation, and lead to positive feelings. How to achieve this and what is not included in norm, we will talk about later. In this slide, we will show you how the variability of colors is also an integral part of the design. Halla company offers a choice of several basic colors that can make interior design more pleasant. These colors are available for all our luminaires without any additional surcharge. We are also able to respond to individual color requirements according to the RAL codes, so do not hesitate to contact us.
Index of light flicker, what exactly is it? Very important thing is that it's one of the measurable parameters which the standard does not mention, unfortunately. According to us, it's a very important parameter. This parameter is sometimes called ripple current, sometimes simply flicker. It's a stroboscopic effect that the eye does not recognize, but has a negative impact on the health and well-being of a person who is exposed long period of light that has too high flicker. Classrooms where children spend a lot of time and have to concentrate and look at the blackboard or the teacher are a space where flicker should be kept strictly. The light sources do not light continuously. but actually flicker constantly, but so fast that our eye cannot catch it, and we think, or our brain think, that the light shines without interruption. Not every light flicker is the same. This is due to the quality of the components used in the luminaire. Poor quality product can reach up to risk frequencies of 15 to 70 Hertz, which can cause headaches, in special cases, even epileptic state. Unfortunately, the standard in our country does not regulate this index of flicker. So every manufacturer or importer can produce or sell in the market luminaires no matter index of light flicker. Lighting fixtures with high flicker are completely unsuitable for school purposes.
The flicker effect itself is measured using a device, and the result is given as a percentage, where the result 1% is the best and 100% is the worst. In the production of our luminaires, we have been monitoring these values of the used LED drivers very precisely for years, and also we measure the value of the flicker from the luminaire. All luminaires manufactured by Halla must meet the flicker below 5%. For drivers, this feature is mentioned in the datasheets and is often referred as ripple-free. This logo you can see on the right corner of this slide. Such drivers we use for our production. We cannot forget to mention direct and indirect illumination. We consider indirect lighting to be very important. Indirect light is a light which does not go directly to the work area, which needs to be illuminated to achieve the required standard, but on the opposite, it is a light that is directed primarily to the ceiling and the walls of the room, where it is reflected, and the result is dimmed non-glare light that illuminates the room where it is reflected. And this non-glare light that illuminates the room leads to our positive eye comfort. The main problem for a human eye is incorrect distribution of brightness. If the student looks from his working place, which is illuminated according to the norm, to a dark place, the eye must adapt to this and constantly refocus. For this reason, standard requires proper lighting of the blackboard and its area, to which is indirect light contributes positively. Moreover, not only in this area of the blackboard, but in the whole room. Indirect lighting essentially eliminates unpleasant glare from the direct light. Please don't forget that direct-indirect lighting is always the best choice when we design the lighting of the space where we work or where we learn.
So, next topic. Lighting in schools should also be environment friendly and economical. The LED light source achieve up to 80% energy savings compared to conventional sources. However, it is not only about light source, but about construction of luminaire, which achieving the greatest saving with the longest possible life of LED sources. The ideal approach for achieving maximum energy savings is a combination of the dimmable luminaire with a sensor for the presence of daylight and movement, for example, in school corridors. Sensors that respond to the presence of light coming from the outside through window can respond to that light immediately, by adding or dimming the light. It is not necessary to turn off and turn on the lights manually, depending on how much daylight are outside. During learning period, the lighting in the classroom is absolutely constant, even though the conditions outside change. As an example, we present the implementation of Montessori school, where the old system had a power input of 3,200 watts. After installing our luminaires, only 650 watts. The control system was used together with sensors and tunable white luminaires.
What the human-centric lighting system is? Human-centric lighting is a dynamic lighting, and it's pre-programmed lighting that simulates natural daylight. In human-centric lighting, we use tunable white luminaires. So those are the luminaires with possibility of change of color temperature. These changes are pre-programmed in accordance with the human biorhythm. Like this, we can give to children what is natural to them. People receive more than 3/4 of information from the environment through the eyes. In how we see and react, the light plays a key role. Due to this fact, in company Halla, we produce light sources with regard to the biological effect. In the human-centric lighting, luminaires can be programmed for a specific application and specific use during the day. So these lamps are then used without the need of human intervention.
So we are approximately in the middle of the presentation, and we have for you really fast questionnaire. Please, if you can and you see now in your screen this simple question. If you have ever heard about human-centric lighting system, please answer. Thank you very much. The answers are here. I see it's very simple for you. Thank you very much for your cooperation. I let you last 2-3 seconds and we can continue with the presentation. Thank you very much again for your answer. So come back to this implementation, the Montessori school. If you can see into the pictures, after coming to school, prepares children cold lighting for the whole day. Cold light replaces their lack of similar outdoor daylight and stimulates activity and concentration. The availability and amount of daylight in the classroom is evaluated by the installed daylight sensor. At midday, you can see, is also time to relax during the lunch. So, as you can see, human-centric lighting replaces real light from the sun.
In this part of presentation, we will focus on luminaires from our portfolio. As an ideal example of luminaire for illumination of school classroom, we use our luminaire Zuli. I think this luminaire is well known to many of you. Luminaire Zuli is able to adapt to various heights of ceilings due to the fact that we offer it in 2 mounting versions, and these versions are surface mounted, and the other variant is suspended. In suspended type, we offer it with a possibility of direct-indirect illumination, which we've already mentioned in previous slides. In chosen types of optics, Zuli can reach great values of UGR. even less than 13.
Yes, the Zule luminaire can be produced with 3 types of optic. Opal diffuser suitable for corridor lighting, and optical louver and microprisma diffuser suitable for classrooms and offices. But the biggest advantage is the possibility of production with an asymmetric louver for ideal illumination of the boards. As you can see in the picture, we can even produce this luminaire up to 2.2 meter long from one piece. And here you can see a detail of asymmetric optic, and the picture on the right, you can clearly notice the curve of light pointing to one side on the board we want to illuminate. So Zule with an asymmetrical reflector is a luminaire that shines on the board and does not glare students.
What is the other novelty from family Zule is the thing that we have Zule also in system variant. In system variant, it's possible to connect luminaires to infinite lines. Now we will continue with the other interesting portfolio, other interesting part of our portfolio. Another ideal choice for illumination of schools and kindergartens are linear profiles that meet all the previously mentioned parameters. In our portfolio, we have several types of profiles in different widths, as we can see on the slide. We have those in single and system versions. And we also offer the profile luminaires in various types of optics, with also direct and indirect illumination. Another mounting option available with the linear luminaires is recessed mounting. This mounting option is suitable for use in lowered ceilings. This kind of luminaire we see in the picture in case of LiPo 60 in the right corner. In this part of the presentation, we will show you some of our realizations from school facilities. As first example of realization, we have chosen luminaire sand in corridor of elementary school with specific mounting option. Another example is luminaire LiPo 80. It is profile luminaire which is suspended in the hall of graphic school.
In this picture, example of linear luminaire LiPo 80 in corridor surface version and suspended in workroom dental education in Czech Republic. Another example is the Sand design linear luminaire in Faculty of Medicine in the city Hradec Králové in Czech Republic. This luminaire is very often used of corridors, but also other areas as nice direct and indirect lighting, and at the same time works as a design interior element. Such as here, and this is an example of space that directly encourage activity and learning. Again, lit by the Sand luminaire in the classrooms of the Exupery International School, the same picture. So we have a couple of questions, but because we don't have much time, we will answer it online. But thank you very much for your questions. And of course, after the webinar will be time for your additional questions. Thanks.
Okay, then jump to circle luminaires. Another possibility with different design are circle luminaires. In our portfolio, those are represented by Hygge, Rundo, and Puri. They are usable in various applications thanks to their mounting options, where we have in our offer again recessed option, surface mounted option, and suspended version. Also, we offer those in various diameters from 300 millimeters up to 1500 millimeters. In circle luminaires, the tunable wide variant is becoming more and more popular. This variant is, of course, an integral part of our portfolio.
And this is exactly the space of the children's classroom in the Theta Palace, again in Czech Republic, and is equipped with round luminaire Hygge, tunable wide, and human-centric lighting technology. With automatic adjustment, the luminaires are adapted to the chromatically temperature and intensity of daylight using sensors. The light in the classroom is nature all day. It is also possible to adjust the light modes for different activities and easily switch them as needed with possible intensity control. White light or cold light, it's suitable for active activities and concentrations. Yellow light or warm light, it's for relaxing and for calmer activities.
In other realization, we see example of circle luminaires in school facilities. This is again our luminaire Hygge in surface mounted version. This realization is school Rostoky, again in Czech Republic. In this realization, we can see again luminaire Hygge in suspended version. What is interesting here that we used red color on the frame of a luminaire. As the last realization, we have chosen an example of big corridor where designer used an opportunity to use in-the-rings luminaires.
So we are at the end of the webinar. We hope that you have learned or discovered something new. I would like to invite you to another webinar, which will be on the topic home office. And of course, I would like to say thank you for your attention.
As Michal mentioned in the beginning, if you are interested to get this presentation after the webinar, please fill out the short questionnaires which will appear in the Zoom. Also, the recording of this webinar, as we are used to, will be available on our website and also in our YouTube channel. Or we can send you either the presentation or the recording on your request. If you have any additional questions, please do not hesitate to use chat, where our colleague Tomáš, the lighting technician, is still available to answer your questions. Or if anything will come to your mind later on, just please contact us on this email address, which you can see on the screen. One more time, I would like to thank you for your attention, and I hope to see you in our next webinar.
Have a nice day. Thank you. Bye.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.